Hello viewers, today we begin with the ABO blood grouping. In my previous lecture I had explained you about the body fluids and the circulation. Different body fluids, that is blood and the lymph. These carry different materials and I had already explained you various components of the blood. Now today I will begin with the ABO blood grouping. Now what is this ABO blood grouping? Actually the presence or the absence of two surface antigens on the RBCs, that is the basis of the blood grouping. So what is the basis of the blood grouping? The presence or absence of two surface antigens. Now what is an antigen? Antigen is a protein. Antigen is a protein or a chemical substance found on the surface of the RBCs. These antigens, they can be a foreign substance which induces a immune response in our body. Due to that, there will be production of antibodies. So, antigen is what? Antigen is a foreign substance which induces a immune response in the body, especially the production of the antibodies. These antibodies, they fight with the disease causing germs. Then antigens are two types, antigen A and antigen B. Now all the different individuals, their plasma might contain or might not contain one or two antibodies. That is, these antibodies, I told you, these are the proteins which are produced in plasma. These are produced in response to certain antigen. So we can say the different blood groups here you see, they and the antigen and the antibody, they are present in these blood groups. Various blood group here you see, blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB, which is also termed as universal recipient because it can receive blood from the rest of the blood group. And the O, that is the universal donor, it can donate the blood to the rest of the blood group people. And here you can see the antigens, as I told you, where are the antigen present? Antigens are present on RBCs and antibodies are produced in the plasma in response to the antigen. Now the blood group A contains antigen or develop an antigen on RBCs, that is A. It will form antibodies in plasma, that is anti-B. And the donor groups to whom they can donate, that is blood group A can donate to blood group A as well as to O. Another is the blood group B, which contains an antigen on RBC, that is B. And the antibodies produced in plasma to a bio, that is anti-A. And its donor groups are B and blood group O. AB, which is a universal recipient, can receive blood from the rest of the blood groups donor, that is A and B. So it produces it doesn't produces any antibodies. That is very important point, this point. That is AB blood group, they contain antigen AB, do not produce any antibodies, and the donor groups are AB, A, B, O. Therefore it is universal recipient. Another is the blood group O, which is a universal donor. It doesn't produce any antigens. Again, you have to see this very carefully, that the blood group A, which is a universal donor, do not produce any antigens on RBCs but can form antibodies towards A and B. Then donor groups are O. So therefore we can say the AB, which is the universal recipient, can receive blood from A, from AB, B and O. And the universal donor, that is O, can donate blood to A, B, ABO and O. Okay, so this way here we can say that the blood groups, that they are the basis of the two surface antigens I told you. Then another important antigen, that is RH blood grouping. That is also because of the presence of RH antigen. This RH blood grouping, it is due to the presence of RH antigen. This RH vector or the RH antigen was first observed in a monkey called as rhesus monkey. the presence of Rh factor or the Rh antigen makes that blood Rh positive, and the absence of this Rh blood grouping makes the blood Rh negative. So generally we can say 80% of the humans, they carry Rh factor, which is present on the surface of the surface of the RBCs. I am repeating, around about 80% of human beings, they carry this Rh antigen present on the surface of the RBCs. Now for this, as I told you, universal recipient and the universal donor, the compatibility has to be matched, means there should not be mismatching by donating or by the transfusion of the blood. Otherwise that causes incompatibility. Here I have mentioned incompatibility means mismatching. Otherwise the blood gets destructed, or you can say formation of clumps of the RBCs takes place. So that means the destruction of RBCs takes place. Therefore matching is required. So here we see now the Rh blood grouping again, that an Rh negative person, if exposed to Rh positive blood, will form specific antibodies against Rh antigen. So this is the important point to be noted. I'll be giving you an example. First of all, you must recall this, that an Rh negative means where the Rh antigen is absent. So if exposed to Rh positive blood, if it is exposed to the Rh positive blood, it will form specific antibodies. It will form specific antibodies against the Rh antigen. Now, what do you mean by this Rh incompatibility? Therefore, here matching is required. But what is this Rh incompatibility? I told you the meaning of incompatibility means mismatching. That is observed between blood of the pregnant mother with the Rh positive blood of the fetus. This example is this: the mother is Rh negative. She is developing a fetus in her womb. The fetus is Rh positive. So this fetus is well developed and formed, and then later on during the parturition, it is expelled out of the birth canal. During the parturition, some amount of the blood might be expelled from the fetus to the mother's body, and therefore the mother's body start preparing the antibodies to it. So during the first pregnancy, no harm to the fetus, but if the subsequent pregnancies takes place soon after that, after the first pregnancy, after 1 year, for the next pregnancy, what happens that the mother's blood, which was Rh negative, so I told you in the first pregnancy no harm to the fetus, but in the subsequent pregnancies, around about, you can say after 1 year, during the birth of the, or during the development of the second fetus, the mother start preparing the antibodies, and the two of the blood, that is the fetus and the mother blood, are generally, you know already that they are separated by the placenta, and the placenta is the disc-like structure which is providing oxygen and blood from the mother's body to the fetus. But when the second fetus is formed in the mother's, that is Rh negative, and the second fetus which is Rh positive, again the mother start preparing the antibodies. I told you the blood of the fetus might get destructed because of the formation of the antibodies. So nowadays, so they are providing injections, or you can say anti-Rh antibodies are injected to the mother. But earlier the second child was born soon after the first pregnancy, that means after 1 year of the gap. So therefore the fetus suffer from a disease called as erythroblastosis fetalis. In this, the fetus suffer from anemia, jaundice, and becomes very weak, and it becomes dangerous. That means it is fatal for the life of the fetus, and fetus may die also. So that disease caused in the fetus, that is erythroblastosis fetalis, because it is formed due to the incompatibility, RH incompatibility, because the mother was RH negative and the fetus was RH positive. The next topic is coagulation of blood. What do you mean by coagulation? Coagulation means clotting of blood. Whenever any part of your body is injured, the blood starts coming out of the blood vessels, and due to the blood coming out of the blood vessels, actually there are the platelets. I told you already about the platelets in my previous lecture, which are also called as thrombocytes. These get clumped and these release out of the blood, they release a factor called as factor 3. So I am repeating, whenever any part is injured, the blood comes out of the blood vessels and it causes the clumping of the platelets, or you can say the destruction of the platelets, which release a factor 3. This is also termed as platelet thromboplastin, and this release helps in the formation of thrombinase in the plasma, or you can say the prothrombinase. Pro, wherever the word you will see the pro, that is inactive. Now it has to form in active form. So here there is formation of thrombinase, which is released in the plasma, and this prothrombinase actually it forms thrombokinase enzyme. So the clotting of blood, it's not just one reaction only. This process is a series of linked enzymatic reactions. So therefore it is also termed as a cascade reaction. I am repeating, clotting of blood, it is not just a single line reaction only. It is a cascade process which contains the many linked enzymes which are involved in the process of coagulation or clotting. So I told you the injured part releases the blood from the blood vessels, which releases the platelets. There is a release of a factor 3 factor, which is also termed as thromboplastin. This releases in the, or this helps in the formation of the thrombinase, which is released in the plasma. This thrombinase forms an enzyme thrombokinase. So there is presence of the prothrombin in the plasma, and this prothrombin in the presence of the calcium ions and in the presence of this thrombokinase forms prothrombin. These are all proteins only. So then this thrombin enzyme, which converts fibrinogen present in the plasma into the fibrin. So the fibrin and the damaged formed elements of the blood forms a scum, or you can say a blood clot. So it is a cascade process, I am repeating, it is a cascade process which is due to the number of many linked enzymatic reaction which releases the various factors and help in the formation of blood clot. I told you already that there is at the injured site the platelet factor 3 is released, which is also termed as thromboplastin, which helps in the formation of prothrombinase in the plasma, present in the plasma. This prothrombinase forms an active enzyme called as thrombokinase, and it converts prothrombin present in the plasma into the thrombin. Then this thrombin converts the next protein, that is fibrinogen, into fibrin, again in the presence of the calcium ions. So what are the fibrins? Fibrins plus this is again protein which forms a mesh, or you can, it is insoluble and it is damaged formed from the elements of the blood and therefore forms a blood clot. Or what is this? A blood clot. It is a reddish brown, dark reddish brown scum which is formed at the site of the injury. Actually it is required for blocking of the blood, otherwise there will be immense loss of blood. So minor injuries, they help in the everywhere the blood clot takes place, but the major injuries the blood do not clot easily. For that the another measures are taken by the medical practitioners. So minor injuries you see whenever you get a cut due to a blade or a knife, they are just blocked by this dark color stump, which is of the fibrin mesh, or the, you can say, the mesh like hair like structure mesh, that is called as fibrin. Then another topic in this, it is the lymph, which I had discussed in my previous lecture, that the blood is the fluid. Another fluid is the lymph, which is also called as fluid, tissue fluid, also termed as interstitial fluid. Now whereas lymph is present in the tissue spaces, like you see, these are the tissue spaces, these are the tissues, and here in the spaces, these spaces you see, there is the flow of the formation of the lymph. This is the tissue fluid. How is it formed? When the blood flows with a great pressure, some amount of the plasma, water and the water soluble small elements or the molecules, they oozes out of the blood. Very few protein, they all oozes out of the blood and starts flowing in the tissue spaces. That is a lymph. Since it lacks RBC, it is whitish in color or yellowish white in color, and these lymph, actually they start flowing in their own vessels called as lymphatic vessels, and it is drained later on into the vein, and then it reaches to the heart, and from the heart it is then given to the lungs for the purification. So I told you the lymph contains lymphocytes, and what are the functions of the lymph? Lymph, I told you, it is also termed as tissue fluid. Another name of lymph is interstitial fluid, which I have written over here. Where is it found? It is found in the tissue spaces. How is it formed? When the blood flows with a great pressure in the blood vessels, some amount of water and water soluble molecules and plasma and few proteins oozes out of the blood, and they start flowing in the tissue spaces. Since it lacks RBC, it is yellowish white in color, or you can say it is whitish in color. What are the functions of lymph? Lymph contains lymphocytes. These lymphocytes, I already mentioned to you, build up our immune system. I already mentioned to you that there are presence of B lymphocytes and the T lymphocytes, which build up our immune system. B lymphocytes are matured in the bone marrow, T lymphocytes matured in the thymus. As well as the lymph carries hormones and other important nutrients, since it flows outside the tissue spaces. Another important function of the lymph I have already discussed with you in your digestion and absorption chapter. I already told you about the villi, finger-like structures present in the small and the large intestine. These villi, they contain a centrally located lymphatic vessel called as lectile. It is centrally located lectile, a structure which is surrounded by the blood vessel. This lectile, it is lectile, L-A-C-T-E-A-L, lectile. So the lectile vessel, it is the large lymphatic vessel which helps in the absorption of the fatty acids and cholesterols. So then therefore you can say the fats are broken down into fatty acids and cholesterol by the process of digestion. Then these are all absorbed by the lectile vessel which is present in the intestinal villi. This way the lymph is playing a very important role in our body. It flows in lymphatic vessels and it is drained into the veins. By many other veins are there. They are also later on I'll be discussing with you. And today's lecture I'll just recall for you. I told you about the ABO blood grouping, then Rh factor, and then I told you about the coagulation of the blood or the clotting of the blood. Then vitamin K, this thrombin is formed due to vitamin K. Chemical name of vitamin K is phylloquinone. Phylloquinone. Chemical name of vitamin K is phylloquinone. So Vitamin K is also responsible for the clotting of the blood, but the clotting takes place by these cascade process which I mentioned to you, and these are the proteins, the fibrinogen, and gets converted into fibrin in the presence of the thrombin and the calcium ions. Thank you.